Hello, welcome back to the FC26 Everton career mode on Tilly Thomas YT. Well, last month it went, dare I say, well? Am I allowed to say it went well? A draw against Palace, a draw in a cracker of a game against Man City 3-3 away, and a 3-2 home win against Spurs, I think constitutes a pretty decent September for Tommaso Ricci's men. Before we get into the games today, let's just look who we're going to play in this episode. We've got an away game at Sunderland, tricky game against Sunderland, home to Fulham, and then away to Old Trafford. Oh, now that is exciting. I'll look forward to that. I will look forward to that. But one thing that did fall by the wayside was a bit of admin. We just wanted to jump into the games. After a disappointing start to the season, we needed to get some points on the board, and we did just that with 5 from a possible 9. But I do think we need to just double check our player chats and make sure we're not missing anything massive. Alcaraz here, disappointed with his game time. He's not out of order because he hasn't really played at all. But we'll try and G him up, try and make him fight for a place. You are more than welcome, Iliman and Dai. I'm proud of you, mate. I'm proud of you. James Tarkowski wants to talk about a contract situation. Were we? I must have missed this notification. I think this is an issue that a lot of people are having on FC26 with missing contract negotiation prompts. There's plenty of time. Maybe that time will come now. We'll just check our emails. We did get an offer from the Czech Republic, which we just ignored. Sporting apparently had an offer in for Idrissa Gueye. We weren't going to let him go anyway, I do not think. And we had some players away on international duty. Well done, Jared Branthwaite and James Tarkowski for getting into the England squad. Well done them. And Mikolenko's not going to Tottenham, apparently. I don't think he ever was. I'll sort out a contract with James Tarkowski, and then we'll get into that Sunderland game. Welcome to a stormy stadium of light, where Sunderland are in 18th place and we are currently in 15th. So this is exactly the kind of game that we need to be winning and should be winning, to be honest. James Tarkowski has signed a 1-year extension. He is 32 years of age, which is why he's only got the 1 year. 32 obviously being absolutely ancient. I'm allowed to say that. It is my 33rd birthday this weekend. So I'm not being mean. I'm just aware that he's probably feeling it a little bit because I'm not a professional footballer, and I certainly am. Oh, lovely tackle by Mikolenko there. And he'll send and die, skipping down the left wing. Plays a neat 1-2 with Barry, who's been wonderful in the last few games. Definitely getting to some goal-scoring form. And Die, he just ran himself off the ball there. I think the wet conditions were partly to blame for that. He lost control of the ball. He's got a chance to redeem himself, and he doesn't. Oh, that's tidy from Undai. It's Mikolenko. Oh, can we get through to Barry? It is Barry, but it's a very tame effort in the end, right at the keeper. It's good movement from us, though, as Semenyo just heads the ball to nobody out of play. And so far, 17 minutes played, we are the better team, I would say. They haven't really done too much to trouble them. Semenyo on to Henriks. Semenyo continues his run. We know what pace he's got. It's been an exciting player for Everton so far since he joined from Bournemouth. But that cross there, there's no real danger, is there? Oh, Dringa in a dangerous position here, but Branthwaite, that's why he's got his England call-up. That's why Thomas Tuchel has brought him into the squad. It's because he's cutting out balls like that and winning back possession and then releasing more technically skillful players to advance up the pitch. It's Barry onto Undai. Try and get it across to Semenyo, but the rainy conditions, once again, not Undai's biggest and best friend. Just holding the ball up there. And they do really, I think especially in FC26, the rain does make things a lot trickier with the authentic gameplay as well. The slower speed, sometimes it's just a little bit tricky. You don't know if the ball's going to skip ahead of you or if it's going to get caught up on a sticky surface. As Tarkowski steps in as well. Another man with an England call-up, of course. Now Barry. Nice little clipped ball from Undai, but Barry's going to have to turn back on himself. We'll find Mikolenko about 40 yards away. As Dewsbury Hall turns around. No dubious yellow cards for him in this save so far, unlike in real life. as Gay finds a wonderful ball to Ndai. And again, we get into that kind of position down the channel, down one of the flanks where we can't quite find a final ball. It's positive stuff, but we're not able to make them pay yet. And we need to be careful because if you've been around on this channel for a little while, you will know that Tommaso Ricci's teams, i.e. my teams, are very good at applying pressure, not so good at making that pressure count. And often we do get caught eventually by the opposition and they sneak a win where we probably should have got at least a point. So we do need to be careful. We need to make sure we're actually converting our chances as Grealish sends Ndai again. And to Barry, it's a lovely touch from him. And his curled effort just goes wide of the post. I think that will be the last action for the first half. It's a lovely first touch from him. Into the second half now with Grealish onto Dewsbury Hall. And Henriks, the signing from Red Bull Leipzig, who's been transformational for Everton on this right-hand side. Not in this case, though, as Reinildo steps in. Bar onto Lefebvre. And Brobby. Is it in these transitional moments that we need to be careful? Especially with a player like Adringa and Xhaka. What a signing, by the way, for Sunderland. What a signing, Xhaka. Is such an experienced player at Premier League level. We're in danger of being penned in a little bit here. 5 minutes into the second half. We haven't really managed to get a foot on the ball yet in this period. And here is Merlin making his way onto the pitch. What can the wizard conjure up this time? Jack Grealish didn't really seem to get much of a reaction from Tommaso Ricci there. I don't know if they've fallen out. I don't know what that's about, but Ricci looks to be blanking him. Just standing alone in his suit in the rain. Cutting a strange figure, really, but Ndai onto Barry, and again, I think we'll blame the weather for that one. Massively overweighted pass. Ndai chests it down and flattens his marker. Oh, and Barry tries to take a first-time shot, but the defender was always going to block it. With time running out to find a winner here, I feel maybe we need one little bit of quality. There hasn't been much quality in this game at all. The weather partly to blame. And Barry trying his best to inject a little bit of it right there with a flick, but didn't find his man. It could be one moment that separates these teams, but the way it's going at the moment, neither of them really deserves to win. And I guess on a rainy evening in Sunderland, it was never going to be a game of massive, massive quality, was it? However, these are the kinds of games that we need to be winning to move up the table. Because you imagine all the teams around us probably will be beating Sunderland. And it's a handball from Branthwaite, and I think that will be a free kick to Sunderland in a very tricky spot for us. Hopefully this isn't a time when the AI chooses to score a worldie, and with Xhaka over the ball, you never know. In the end, it's straight at Pickford. Barry tries to put it over the top. Will the ball slide out of play? It will just hold up enough for Ndai to get on the end of it. Here is Gay. And Dewsbury Hall on his right foot, straight at the keeper. And it's a bullet of a header, saved by Jordan Pickford, thankfully. Into the 90th minute. If something's going to happen in this game for Everton, it needs to happen now. Semenyo onto Henriks, who's done well there. Can he get a ball across to Beto? He can't, and it's cleared. We'll try and come at them one more time. He's done really well to get the ball back there as Royal turns and is dispossessed. The referee will call time on it. And that is a third draw in 4 games for Everton. We never looked in too much danger of conceding, but we also never really looked like we were going to score either, which is quite concerning. Quite concerning. I mean, we are coming off the back of scoring 3 against Tottenham and 3 against Man City, I guess, so maybe we shouldn't be too worried, but we do need to sort out the bench, bring Alcaraz onto the bench, some more attacking options. 0-0 at the Stadium of Light, and we move on. Into the second game of today's episode. Tommaso Ricci has named one change. Kieran and Dewsbury Hall going to the bench, and Özcan coming on for his, I think it's his first start in an Everton shirt. And again, Fulham, a team that we really need to be beating, the kind of team we need to be winning against a mid-table opposition. looking very nice in their purely white kit, which I do like from them this season. Barry remains up front, but we might not be so slow to bring him off in place of Beto if he doesn't score early on in this game. Semenyo's still there, of course, but hopefully Erskine can do something different and give us something different in this game. Okay, on to Barry. First chance we've really had to get forward. Gay's not got the most pace, but he's taking a nice touch there to give himself a little bit more room. Right, just need to cross it with him. It's a curved cross towards Semenya, who gets onto it, heads it down to Barry. And either side of the keeper, either side of Bernd Leno, it would have been in. He tries to go almost straight at him towards the roof of the net, and he tips it over for a corner. Grealish applauds as he lines up to take this corner kick. But that one is easily claimed by Leno. 80 minutes gone, still 0-0. Raul Jimenez there, winning the ball for Everton. The tag above him just says Raul, and with the white kit, it does look like the Galactico of old, doesn't he? Hopefully it's not quite as potent as Raul was in his pomp, as Pickford will throw it out quickly to Grealish. And this is another game that's being played at some speed. It's back and forth. Again, much like the Sunderland game though, not a ton of quality. Chukwueze, he's got a motor on him as well, but he can't get on the end of that as Mykolenko, in the end, it's almost a hospital pass to Pickford, but he does well with Semenyo running down the wing. It's showing a tidy bit of skill there. But again, it's in this middle portion of the pitch. We can't make things happen. We're just getting bogged down. We're losing the ball too easily. And they're coming straight back at us again with Raul Jimenez. Back to Jimenez and Pickford. You should be catching that, mate, you'd think. Harrison Reed will get the yellow card for the tackle earlier, where we tried to play advantage. Semenyo tries to play it through to Barry. He'll just check back. I don't think he would have got through, but he does find Henriks here. Oh, pass it into Semenyo. Semenyo, very, very similarly to the first goal that he scored for Everton. It's from the rebound. The keeper just parries it back into his path. In all fairness, I don't think Leno could have done much differently there. And it's a very, very simple finish in the end for Antoine Semenyo to put us in the lead in this game. It's fortunate, but at this moment in time, we will absolutely take it. And with Tete out of position here, it's a smart ball from Mykolenko to get forward to Barry. We've got Ndai outside. We'll get it to him. Can we make it two in quick succession? It's Iliman Ndai. Oh, and what a save that is from... an interception, sorry, from the Fulham defender. I thought for all money Barry was about to put the ball in the back of the net, much like Antoine Semenyo did here on the rebound. 3 goals in 10 appearances this season. I think that's across both clubs. And it's such a good block. What a bit of graphic that is there on the Barry shot, showing the ball going straight up in the air. Such a good block. It wasn't even a corner in the end somehow. And Yorogisa onto Alex Iwobi, who turns and shoots but can only put it into Pickford's breadbasket. And once again, we're on the way with Semenyo. It really is end-to-end stuff, this. We'll just try and slow it down a bit and try and pick the right pass rather than try and force the issue. So Grealish now can move forward. I don't know if Semenyo might be offside there. He is offside. He is offside. Barry plays it nicely onto Semenyo, and Robinson. He's got pace, he's got strength, and he had the ball. And that is half-time. 1-0 to Everton. Again, neither team particularly covering themselves in glory, but will happily take the lead into the break. That man, Antoine Semenyo, the difference maker, with a second-time attempt. And the Hill Dickinson Stadium looking absolutely lovely at night time on this, I think it'll be an October evening, won't it? 1-0. Things to improve on. But Tommaso Ricci will be happy that we, as it stands, have the 3 points. Grealish does really well there to pick the pass at the right time. And Dye will just lift it into Barry, who heads it. And I think that's probably a goal kick. It's actually an offside. We were playing with intent there. Barry's still not at his best. The booked Harrison Reed will go off for Sasha Lukic. And I'm wondering if we do give Beto a bit of a extended run out here. I think that might be a good idea. We'll maybe bring Alcaraz on as well for Ndiaye, who's looked to be productive, but not really had the final touch needed to do anything of real importance in this game so far. Beto for Barry, Alcaraz for Ndiaye. Now Grealish here with a chance to lift one in. Now that we've got Beto on, we've got a fair bit of height in there. And he does really scoop it into the air, doesn't he, rather than whip it. And that's a terrible passage of play as Mykolenko handles the ball and Fulham get a free kick in their own half. That was absolutely shocking. Oh, lovely from Beto. What a touch that is. It's Beto to make it 2-0, and he does. Well, it came from a poorly taken Fulham free kick in their own half. Beto clears the corner flag like an Olympic hurdler in his celebration, and he had to make 2 wonderful touches there to get away from his defender, and then he makes no mistake with the finish. 2-0 to Everton. I think judging Fulham on what they've managed to create in this game so far, I'd be amazed if we don't manage to hold on to the lead, because they've really offered absolutely nothing. But Beto there, grabbing a great goal not long after coming on. 33 minutes left of the game, 2-0 to Everton, and we just need to try and see this out now. And Gay loses it cheaply as Sander Berge takes it away from Branthwaite, who charges in recklessly. And Chukwueze tries to find the ball to the back post, and Hendricks will just try and put it out. I don't know if he's even managed to do that. He has. It just trickles out for a corner to Fulham in the end. It's a short corner to Iwobi, who turns sharply onto Chukwueze. And Chukwueze to the edge of the box. And Pickford will claim it easily. 25 minutes left of this game. Fulham applying a little bit more pressure, but not really endangering the Everton goal. Mykolenko onto Grealish, who is lazy with his pass there. But Özcan puts in a thunderous standing tackle there. And he'll look for Alcaraz on the left wing. The player with a point to prove, wanting more game time. What can he do to show Tommaso Ricci that he deserves it? He finds Gay. Oh, and it's nearly very, very tidy play to release Alcaraz, actually. And now we need to be careful with Iwobi, but Henrik steps in. It's a good tackle from him. It will be a corner, unfortunately. But he has negated the danger for the time being as Raul Jimenez in his headband moves for Muniz, who in real life I think had a really good start to the season. I don't know how he's doing in this reality. The short corner again to Alex Iwobi. Henrik tries to run it out. Chukwueze sends it into the box. Jared Branthwaite, towering figure, manages to get there first, but Chukwueze gets the ball again to Haragiza, and Branthwaite this time does clear the ball. Only just. We're under the cosh for a little bit there. And maybe we just need to try and take the sting out of the game. Room for Grealish to run into. Can he get it to Beto? Beto for his second of the game. One-handed save from Leno. And another one with his feet. That's amazing goalkeeping. That's absolutely superb. The double save from Bernd Leno. One-handed save away to his right. And then with his legs. Gap starting to open up for Grealish as he gallops forward again. Semenyo been quiet since he scored the goal. And maybe it's a chance for Idrissa Gueye, who hammers it. And Bernd Leno denies us again. 10 minutes left, we're still winning 2-0, and as long as we're attacking, Fulham can't score. As Grealish goes again, he's suddenly got a bit more room to operate in as the game's worn on. He's had more space. With Mykolenko looking for the ball. Over to Alcaraz. That's a lovely ball. Alcaraz is offside. For a moment, I thought he'd just given up playing football. Apparently, he was actually offside, but he can't be far offside. It's his toe and his quiff. Shave your head and wear smaller boots and you would have been onside there, mate. Dewsbury Hall's just come on for Jack Grealish, try and waste a bit of time with the substitution. As Beto has a chance to release Semenyo here. Semenyo winding up a shot. And it's another good reaction save from Bernd Leno, who, aside from the first goal, I think has been very, very good today. Mykolenko now venturing forward. And he kind of poked at one. It was a kind of knuckle shot. Or a trivela. I think it was a knuckle. It's moving all over in the air. Look at that. It's moving everywhere but in the goal. I didn't know you had it in your locker, son. There goes the full-time whistle. 2-0 to Everton. And I think that's a good win, to be honest. As disappointing as it was to draw away against Sunderland, if you draw your away games and you win at home, then you're going to do all right, aren't you? Tommaso Ricci fist pumps the air. And we will take a decent bit of form, I think. We'll take a bit of a selection headache to Old Trafford as well, because Beto had a great game when he came on, scoring after not very long with a wonderful little solo run after a couple of good touches. 2-0. Superb. One more game left in this episode, but just quickly, I never really pay enough attention to the little news stories at the side of the screen in career mode. This photo has just really made me smile. Tommaso Ricci and Semenyo there. Ricci doing a nice pose, but in the background, Özcan just like, oh, I can't believe they're taking a photo. He looks really excited for them. Worst match ever, apparently. Fought hard and deserved that result. Okay. Is it me, or does it feel like the last International Cup was ages ago? It's like the World Cup we're talking about, King Roman. I don't know what this has got to do with our 2-0 demolition job of Fulham, where Fulham had too much in their locker, yet they were unable to prevent Everton from taking the 3 points. They didn't have too much then, did they? Is this AI? I think it's AI, isn't it? Anyway, great photo. Oh, and just one more thing. We've had an offer from Brentford for Michael Keane, the 32-year-old Michael Keane, only rated 73. They want to offer 1.7 million. I think we can get closer to 2 million. We'll just try and negotiate that quickly, but I think it makes sense to get rid of him, I think. So propose a new transfer fee of 2 million. And if this goes through, he, of course, will move in January. You'd be prepared to increase the offer to what it was before and a 1% sell-on clause. You know what? You were so cheeky with that revised offer. I like your style. You can have Michael Keane. That's fine by me, mate. 11th place, Everton head to 6th place, Man United. Tommaso Ricci has rewarded Beto for his performance against Fulham with a starting berth in the rain in Manchester. Ruben Amorim looks to be perfectly happy, having a nice little chat there with Tommaso Ricci. I don't know if he's under anywhere near the same kind of pressure he has been in real life this season. He looks quite confident there. And it's always fun to play at Old Trafford, always fun to play against Manchester United. It's a derby of sorts, I guess. And we'll be hoping to get something out of this game. If we win, then that's quite good. I don't know where it will move us up to in the table, but beating 6th place when we're in 11th won't harm us in any way at all, will it? As Seshko looks to move the ball out to Mbumo. And he's got far too much pace. He's galloping away. Tasty little turn from him. Back to Ugarte. On the edge of the box for Kobe Mainu. I mean, it's awful. It's absolutely awful, don't get me wrong. But I love the fact that he seemed to charge up for the power shot. And then went for the chip. The AI tried to trick us there. Very tricky. And Mbumo again. I just know he's going to be an absolute nightmare to play against this game. As he tries to find Sesko. This time it's Tarkowski who heads the ball away, but it's straight back to Mbumo onto Sesko here on the edge of the box. He finds Cunha, Mateus Cunha, but geez, behold as well to stick a foot in, and Grealish will now release Beto, who was in his own half, so he can't be offside. I think it was being played on anyway by Harry Maguire, who doesn't try and cover him. It's Beto. His blocks, and then Grealish scrambles it through. Is that booze? That might be booze from the Man United fans, and who can blame them, to be honest, because that was an absolute disaster in defence for Man United. It is booze. It's scrambled home, after Beto's deflected shot. De Ligt can't. Well, for some reason, he's not as strong as Jack Grealish, who shows a bit of tenacity there and finishes it underneath the keeper. Jack Grealish there. Very happy. What a start to the game for Everton. We like that. Seshko here with a bit too much space, but Branthwaite recovers well. But then loses out to Seshko. And that's a good save from Pickford. Had to throw himself in the way of the ball. No regards for his own personal safety as Grealish heads out to Njai. And we've really got to be careful as they try to counter-attack and open us up because they've got a lot of pace in this side. Kobe Mainoo, the little trickster from his little effort before, has a chance this time to hammer it, and he does. Mikolenko in a tricky spot, but in the end does well to get the ball out of danger to Njai and Gate onto Grealish now. And we'll try come back at Man United. Grealish onto Njai, and suddenly it opens up a little bit for us. Njai chips it into Beto, who chests it, and Harry Maguire with a big old foot on it heads it up the pitch. Ugarte onto Mainoo. Will he have another shot? He won't. Instead it's Mbuemo, who's dancing. He's still dancing. Give us the ball. Give us the ball, Mbuemo. He won't do. It's back to Dalot. And he's dancing. And that's Ugarte. And they're lining up to try and take a shot or do something. We're not letting them have enough space. And in the end, Mikolenko steps in. And we'll try and break with Grealish and Ndai. And Ndai does well. De Ligt not having the best game by any means. And Ndai here onto his right foot. Into the side netting. If there's one thing we've done well in this game, we have made Man United pay for their mistakes. It's 2-0. I think they've had way more of the ball. But on the break, we have been absolutely ruthless. Ndai this time. Inside of the boot. Smashing it past the keeper. He was just trying to set himself. It's actually a really good finish. It started off a little way outside the post. Ruben Amorim can't believe what he is seeing. Mind you, he's not the most self-aware of fellas, is he? Seems like a lovely bloke, but it's if you try the same thing repeatedly and it still doesn't work, then maybe the problem's you, mate. Anyway, Ndai can't defend there as it goes to Ugarte onto Mainoo, looking for an instant response, Man United. And they might still have it as Mainoo finds Ugarte again. Good, solid defending from Mikolenko, who can only give it back to Mbuemo. And then Branthwaite steps in. Get it away from Seshko. And no, we've lost it to Diego Dalot. What is happening in this game? Dalot now. And Pickford puts it out. Sorry, Pickford puts it out. All the plosives there. For a corner to Manchester United. And once again, Manchester United left a lot of players forward. And Ndai released by a lovely pass from Beto, who held it up and then slid it through. And Ndai to make it 3. Not this time. Not this time. That would be a bit silly, wouldn't it? 3-0 at half-time against Manchester United away. Especially after the start that they had to the game. I thought Mbuemo in particular was going to be a real thorn in our sides. Instead, they're probably a bit worried about us breaking every time they attack and move forward. They must have the thought in the back of their heads about what's going to happen when Everton get the ball back. Are we going to concede again? Maybe. They must be thinking it right now as Ndai gets it to the Grealish. And Ndai's released by Grealish with Beto in so much room. We get it forward to Beto, who shoots, and it's a good save by Lamans in the end. It's such good play in transition from Everton. I'm not going to lie, it's really fun to play in terms of gameplay as well, playing on the break like this. So far, it's a Tommaso Ricci masterclass in tactics, just sitting back like a little coiled spring and then bouncing forwards. At a pace that Manchester United cannot cope with. But Mbuemo with the outside of the boot, the little Trivela shot, easily saved by Pickford. And there's about a minute left of this half. What half it's been? Dewsbury Hall onto Semenya, who we've barely seen in this game. But here is Ndai. Ndai to Beto. It's just between Beto's legs. It's a poor first touch for him. But it's a wonderful first half. For Everton, the Manchester United players and staff will get booed off back down the tunnel. And Ndai, one attempt, one goal. And that says a lot more than the fact that he scored one goal. It says that we have taken our opportunities. Back to Maguire, now Dorgu. And this is the problem with Maguire stepping forward. Now, if we win the ball back quickly and he can't get back in time, then we've got lots of space to run into. Saying that, that was almost a very dangerous ball into Šeško. Grealish onto Beto. Forced to go wide. And Dewsbury Hall onto Gay. Gay from distance. Cunha turns us inside out there. He's trying some tricks and he tries too much in the end. Dewsbury Hall will get it away, and this is where we'll try and break with Semenyo. And he's a player you don't want running at you when you're already 2-0 down. He's still going. He's got Henriks outside of him. It's Henriks. Oh, and it's a thunderous effort. But saved well. And the Old Trafford crowd growing increasingly frustrated. The boos are ringing round. You can hear the Everton fans, if you strain your ears, in the corner of this stadium, cheering on their team. That handball means that we will bring on Alcaraz and James Garner. Take your time, mate. Just take your time walking off the pitch. The yellow shirt has proved very, very popular. And was that Pulisic running onto the pitch in his training jacket? That's interesting. Surely they can't score 2 to get themselves back in this game now, can they? You don't think so. You don't think so. I don't want to tempt fate, but I feel like we're doing a decent job at controlling this game. They've had a few chances they should have done better with, but we've also been absolutely wonderful. As Alcaraz tries to seal it. It's saved by Lamens. Only 1 minute of stoppage time. Long gone are the days of Fergie time at Old Trafford. Nothing really has gone their way today. And I'm sure the referee, any moment now, will blow the whistle. I hope the referee will blow the whistle. He does blow the whistle. 2-0 to Everton. That's quite a decent run of 3 games, that. We beat Fulham. We beat Manchester United. We drew at Sunderland, which, you know, they're probably the weakest of the 3 teams, to be perfectly honest. The boos, I've never heard anything like it at Old Trafford. They're 6th in the league, or at least they were at the start of this game. So they, you know, they're not having a terrible season, but we've executed the game plan to perfection there. We'll have a quick look and see where that leaves us in the table. And I'll look forward to recording the next episode and getting that out to you. And we're going to start that next episode with a tricky home game against Newcastle in 7th. We've got an offer for Harry Tyra that's coming, so we will have a look at that. Keane has been sold to Brentford. And let's just look at the standings. We are up to 10th. Is that Burnley and Leeds in 9th and 8th, respectively? Manchester United remain in 6th place. Chelsea in 5th. That's not who I was expecting to see it in pole position when I scrolled up then. I definitely thought that was going to be Arsenal. Chelsea 5th, Manchester United 4th, Liverpool 3rd, Aston Villa 2nd, Brighton 1st, played 11, won 7 on 24 points. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Where are Arsenal then? They're just below us in 11th, so we've leapfrogged them. They do have a game in hand over us though, as do a lot of teams actually. So even though we are in 10th at the moment, I mean, Brentford aren't going to overturn a 9-goal difference swing in one game, are they? But we could, after they've played their games in hand, we could go back down to 12th. But even so, it's not terrible, is it? Manchester United have played that game. I'm presuming we must have played on the Friday or something. But anyway, come back next time to Tilly Sean YT for the FC 26 Everton career mode, where we will have games against Newcastle. We will also be playing Bournemouth and Nottingham Forest before an interesting run of games leading up to Christmas with Chelsea, Arsenal, Burnley, and then Forest again on New Year's Eve. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please do drop a like and subscribe, and we will see you next time.